Today's story takes place in the desert. A lot of the stories in the Bible take place in the desert. That's why we have a piece of the desert in our classroom. The desert is a dangerous place. People don't go into the desert unless they have to. There's not much food or water in the desert. So people can starve in the desert. In the daytime, it's really hot. So people wear a lot of clothes to keep the sun away from their skin. The wind also blows in the desert. The blowing sand stings your skin, so people wear a lot of clothes in the desert to protect their skin. It also gets very cold at night. So people wear a lot of clothes in the desert to keep warm at night. When the wind blows, it changes the shape of the desert, so it's very easy to get lost. People don't go into the desert unless they have to. The desert is a dangerous place. This is Jerusalem. This is the temple in the middle of Jerusalem. These are the people of God. They thought that the only place they could pray and read scripture and worship God was in the temple. They also thought that the walls of Jerusalem would protect them from everything. Then the Assyrians came. It was a terrible time. Many people fought and starved to death. But then the Assyrians went away. A little later, the Babylonians came. They did not go away. The king of Babylonia wanted to take Jerusalem for himself. He tore down the walls and he burned the city. He burned the temple. And he took many of the people as prisoners. They had to leave Jerusalem with soldiers telling them when to walk telling them when they could eat and what they could eat, when they could sleep. They turned to see Jerusalem, and all they could see was the smoke from the temple. There were a few people that were allowed to stay in Jerusalem. The journey was long, and the people were weary. Some people even died. God's people were in exile. They hung their harps in willow trees, and they sang sad songs. They yearned for a time when they could go back to Jerusalem. But slowly, God showed them that He was here also. And they learned that God could hear their prayers, and they could read scripture here. The king of Babylonia began to let them open stores. He allowed them to get jobs. Some even worked in the palace. Then something unexpected happened. Persia came to Babylonia. And the king of Persia told the people that they could go back to Jerusalem. One group of people went back with Ezra. The people that went back with Ezra rebuilt the temple. Then another group of people went back with Nehemiah. The people that went back with Nehemiah rebuilt the wall of the city. They were no longer in exile. Some people stayed in Babylonia and kept their life there. They had jobs and maybe stores. And they knew that God was with them here, the same as when God was with them here. So I wonder, is their a most important part of the story? Do you see yourself in this story? Or is part of this story about you? I wonder, can you leave a part of the story out and still have everything that you need?